what it is.
Hi, everybody.
What's up? What it is. What's up? What it is.
What it is.
What's up?
What's up?
What it is.
What it is.
What's up? Just
What's
hear
up?
those sleigh bells ringling, ring, ting, tingling too. Lovely weather was sleigh ride together with you.
Today, we are going to rank the Netflix original Christmas movies that we have seen. We have 16 to go through. S is good. D is bad, despite what the color would have you believe. So we have somewhat of a variety, and we do have one series because Dash and Lily was technically a series. But I'm counting it as a Netflix original Christmas movie because
True.
In essence, that's what it was.
Right.
Anyway, so let's start. The very first one here is Christmas Chronicles 2. We can do them together. So we can do Christmas Chronicles, the original, and Christmas Chronicle 2. I think, so when I think of S tier, I think of like instant classic ones that I have or would rewatch.
Right.
And I think I want to put Christmas Chronicle, the original, in that S tier.
I am 100% with you.
Okay, so Christmas Chronicle is
the
going up in the
original.
S tier. It was so good.
It was
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched it, just from the trailers, I remember Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. I was like, that's perfect. It's just perfect. But I remember watching it, also thinking it was surprisingly good. And I remember it being surprisingly emotional, at least for me. I was, personally, I get really emotional with like parental figures in movies and things like that, like those type of storylines. And so they had a whole storyline about their father. And that really got to me. So yeah, and they had a full-on musical number in a jail.
Yeah.
It was, I agree.
It was bonkers, but in a good way. And it felt like a classic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Like, not as good as like Santa Claus, but in that same kind of realm of like, those are the kinds of Christmas movies that I grew up on.
Right.
Or like wacky as fuck.
Right.
Christmas movies. So yeah, I would say Christmas Chronicles original S tier, but Christmas Chronicles 2 was nowhere near as good, and so I think that should go in either A or B.
Yeah, I would probably say B, because it's not.
It wasn't. Good.
It still has the elements that made the first one super enjoyable.
Mostly Kurt Russell.
Mostly Kurt Russell.
And now Goldie Hawn, who's like,
and she was
so good.
Yeah, she was great in it.
It was just cool seeing them together.
Yeah. I thought the addition of like the lore was super weird.
Yeah, the story was weird.
And even the kid from Deadpool 2 who was there, like, he was fine.
It just felt shoehorned.
Yeah.
Like, weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think B is. It was very middle of the road. Okay, so next we have the Christmas Prince trilogy, iconic trilogy. No matter where we place anything, most of these are iconic. Christmas Prince is iconic.
Right.
The first one I would maybe put in C tier because I mean it's a bad Christmas rom-com, which is like part of the draw in it. So maybe I would even put it in B.
Right.
The other two, D tier. Like, they're so bad that you can't even like ironically watch them.
See, that's interesting you say that, because I would then put the Royal Baby in. I'd compromise and put that in C tier because
it was so bad it was funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. That's fair.
And I think that's part of it, is that it's supposed to be like, because especially the Royal Baby, they try to do this weird like whodunit thing, and I think they were intentionally going for something wacky. I couldn't tell you what the fuck happened in the royal wedding.
I don't know what happened at all in the royal wedding. So
I know there's a wedding. I know that much.
Christmas Prince for being as iconic and the first one in the series, I'll give that B tier.
Yeah.
That's like classic shitty Christmas rom-com.
Yeah.
We'll give Royal Baby C tier because it was so crazy that it was funny to watch.
Right.
And then we'll give the second one D tier because we didn't really remember anything that happened in it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something weirdly charming about those movies. That they're kind of funny. And for that, and everyone in it seems so like, everything seems so intentional and genuine that it's like, all right, I'll give it a pass. Yeah. I get that it's all like super cheesy and predictable, but like it's just there's something kind of fun about them.
And it's like Christmassy,
and they're very Christmassy.
Yeah. The next one you didn't watch, Dash and Lily.
I heard very good things though.
Dash and Lily was super, super good. Though I'm gonna put it in A tier because it's a series. I'm a little less willing to rewatch it just because I don't want to have to like sit through 6 hours of content. I don't even know how many episodes are in it. I think 6, but I just don't want to sit through all of that again every year. But it was super, super good. If you're a fan of Christmas anything, you should watch it. It's kind of like, it's definitely still a rom-com, but it's like a teen, like YA style rom-com.
Right.
But it was still super well executed. The plot of it is, it's based off of a book. But it's like these two teenagers from like very different lives are passing back and forth this journal and like writing notes in it.
Right.
And they don't know the other one.
Interesting.
And then there's also like a scavenger hunt quality to it. It's very, it's interesting, but I thought it was cool because it's not like they had a lot of time to explore stuff that in these one-off Christmas movies there's not enough time to explore. Next we have Father Christmas is Back. So this is the most recent Christmas movie that we watched. We watched this earlier this week, and if you haven't seen it, don't bother watching it.
Yeah.
It was so bad. So bad.
Yeah, there were, at least the royal baby was so, like, there were parts that were just so bad that it was funny.
Yeah.
And it also wasn't, I don't know, it almost felt like
they were in on the joke.
They were in on the joke. Yeah. That's the perfect way to say it. I don't know what this movie was. I don't know why this movie was made. There were a few moments that were just like, what the fuck funny. But so much of it is just so random. And you know what the weird part is that when the movie started, it started on a pretty standard but at least somewhat interesting note. But it was just like, as the movie went on, it just got worse.
Yeah, it's like everyone stopped giving a shit. Like the writer towards the end was just like, who cares?
And then
the editing was fucking buck wild. Just insane choices.
There were moments that I was laughing, and I mean, I guess it was supposed to be funny, but I wasn't laughing because it was funny. I was laughing because it was stupid.
Yeah.
It's very hard to enjoy, even ironically.
Yeah.
And there's, like, before we get to the actual ending of the movie, there were like 2 other moments in the movie that I completely thought was the end.
And it was only an hour and 45 minutes, but it felt like 3 fucking hours sitting there watching it.
Yeah. And what's weird is they had a pretty good cast. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it wasn't the cast. It was everything else about
D.
it.
It would be, if I could put it lower, I'd put it lower. But
solid
it's a D.
F tier.
Yeah.
For Father Christmas is Back.
Yeah.
But and this was one where we almost turned it off halfway through.
Yeah.
Like we almost did not continue.
Yeah. And I think what made it even worse is that reading the description on the Netflix description, this was one that we're like, oh, this one actually seems kind of interesting. You know, it's like a father who's returning and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's kind of an interesting thing. No. So I think because we were slightly excited to check it out, like that's the one we chose to check out.
Yeah.
It was just like
a waste. Well, we get to complain about it, so that is fun and nice. But
we watched it for y'all.
Yeah, we watched it for you guys. So hit the subscribe button.
Right, exactly.
Okay, next, Jingle Jangle. This came out last year and was a predominantly Black movie musical.
Yep.
It's of course all Christmas based.
Yeah, for me, S tier.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was another one where I'm like, I shouldn't have been surprised. I shouldn't be surprised anymore about like what streaming services can put out, like the quality of their movies. But this was one that I was just like, yeah, it was insane. It was insanely good. It was beautiful.
Yeah, the production quality was as high as I've ever seen anything Netflix do. The costuming, just the layout, the settings.
Yeah. All
the different settings, I should say. And I feel like a really horrible musical fan right now because I don't know who did the music for this movie, but the music was incredible, and you got some really, really powerful performances, particularly with Keegan-Michael Key, who was having a real musical King Lear, a real musical year, or years, I should say, because this year he was also in Schmigadoon. Super, super well done, and it's not even just the good, like, I mean, it's a Christmas movie. It's meant to be a Christmas movie. But just in terms of quality, it's just a damn good movie. Yeah. So, yeah, S tier all the way.
S tier, I agree. Next we have, what I suspect is going to be another S tier. Klaus.
Oh.
Klaus is definitely, I think out of the 3 S tiers, I feel like I'd be most willing to rewatch Klaus, but also I don't want to rewatch Klaus.
Yeah, I would almost disagree. Not because it's not good or rewatchable. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie. But again, I told y'all, when it comes to parental stories with their kids, I'm just a huge sucker.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this movie was going to pack the emotional punch that it did.
Yeah.
I remember watching this, and I was crying. I was trying to hold back crying so much that when the movie finally turned off, Kendra and I were trying to talk about it, and I was just like, I need a minute. And I walked into the other room just because I was just it was such a gorgeous movie. And it wasn't like, I mean, parts of it were sad, but it wasn't like, because it was like a real downer of a movie.
Devastating, yeah.
But it was such a beautiful, impactful, beautiful movie. I mean, in terms of like fun, I would definitely check out probably Christmas Chronicles over all of these.
Yeah.
But
if you want impact.
Oh, yeah.
This one is, and again, beautiful.
Yeah.
This one is animated. I think this is the first animated one. This is the only animated one on our list, actually. But the animation style and the lighting of it, of course, is like
because it's technically 2D animation. But what they're able to do with just how it moves and flows is it's just stunning to look at. And y'all know us, we are big animation fans here. But yeah, and Santa Claus was voiced by J.K. Simmons in this one, who, like, put him in anything, he's gonna be great.
Yeah, he's gonna be great in whatever he does.
But yeah, this was S tier.
S tier all the
way. Not even a conversation.
Yeah. Very, very good one. Okay, now next, a not so good one. Love Hard. Love Hard was another new one this year. Father Christmas is Back and Love Hard were both released this year.
Yes.
So Love Hard was probably the most hot and cold one, because there were parts that I liked. There were parts that I didn't. There were parts that were funny. There were parts that were cringy because they were attempting to be funny. And it was just like geriatric millennial humor that they're trying to pass off as still funny. But I don't know where I would want to rank this one.
So I am curious. We don't, because this is kind of no tea, no shade, no lemonade to anybody. But because these are like Netflix, like holiday rom-coms, they're higher in production quality, but they're kind of on the level of I would say like a Hallmark or a Lifetime, like in terms of when because they kind of just release them. And
that's also, I think, intentional, because Hallmark Lifetime Christmas movies were iconic before streaming services were even a thing.
Right. So I mean, they're admittedly, because they're playing with Netflix money, it's higher quality. I'm interested to if they'll ever announce, like, if this particular movie went through like significant rewrites with a different writer or something, because there are parts that work really well, and there are parts that, like you said, are just kind of cringy. Like, they're trying to like, they're like, what do millennials think is funny?
Yeah.
Because millennials are now at this kind of awkward age where it's like,
some of us are fucking
late
40,
late 20s going up to like early 40s. Yeah. So it's like they don't really know what the hell to write for them.
Some of the jokes, though, there were a couple times where I think you got a genuine laugh out.
Yeah, there were a couple moments, and there's a scene for an engagement party that is relatively late in the movie that, just on like a film standpoint, I thought was done really well.
Yeah.
If it were me, and maybe I'm being generous, I would maybe say B or C.
I was thinking
maybe say
B or
B.
C too.
Yeah.
B? Let's give it a C.
Okay.
Because again, this was one where we almost turned it off.
Did we?
Early on, yes.
Oh, yeah, right. It was pretty, but
very early on.
But that's because, again, it was some of that writing was just not very good. I think I ended up being into, hang on, I have to Google his name.
The main guy?
Yeah.
I liked him. I think he was my favorite part of the movie, too. Nina Dobrev is good. She's, like, good in everything she's in.
Yeah.
I think she did well with what she was given. But I think the, like, standout performance was the main guy.
Jimmy O. Yang. Yeah, he was fantastic in the movie. Yeah. And, yeah, I think Nina Dobrev was good, too. She was good, at least with what she was given.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the consensus is C, I'm okay with that. But if it were just me ranking it, I'd probably give it a B.
You'd put it on the same level as Christmas Chronicles 2 and Christmas Prince.
For me, I would say yeah. But I mean, I think if the consensus is, because I think if it lands in C, I think that's more than reasonable.
I think I'm looking back on it with rose-colored glasses. Here's the thing, and I think it's kind of a reverse Father Christmas is Back, where like the beginning of Love Hard was a little rocky, a little hard to sit through. But then towards the end, it became almost a decent movie.
Right, and I was satisfied with how the movie ended. I mean, still, you can look back and be like, both of the characters are kind of assholes.
Yeah.
And they have to learn how to not be, they both have to learn how to not be assholes, which is an interesting way to go. When usually with these kinds of movies, it kind of paints.
One is a little bit more flawed than the other.
But I think they were both, at times it was a bit frustrating, but like, I don't know. I think it could sit reasonably at C and still be an enjoyable movie.
I'm going to put it at B.
And we can always change it.
This is just our opinion.
Yeah.
Just if there was a B.5, C+ range, that's where it would go. But we'll put it in B because it's Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Love Hard.
That's your present and Love Hard.
Right.
All right. So the next one you actually also have not seen. Operation Christmas Drop.
Right.
Operation Quarterback. Operation Christmas Drop was, I believe, last year, a Christmas movie that came out last year. It is a typical Christmas rom-com. But I think they did a little bit more with it. And the main woman in it, who's been in like a ton of shit, was super good in it. I haven't seen her in a lot of other stuff, so I was kind of surprised how good she was in it for just like, not just, but like a Christmas rom-com, which typically people aren't giving like 100% their full focus or performance.
Right.
But I thought it was cool. It's based off of an actual thing that I think the Air Force does, or like a certain base does, where they drop Christmas presents to like a local island every year. So it's kind of based off that, and it's like, I think she's like a reporter. No, is she with a government agency who's like trying to get rid of Operation Christmas Drop? I don't know, something like that. So she's like the Scrooge, I'm here to ruin Christmas kind of person. And then the love interest is like a pilot. As far as these like cheesy Netflix Christmas movies go, it was actually pretty solid. I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought it would. So I think I'm going to also put it in B.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty solid place to stick it. It wasn't like super, super good where I would rewatch it every single year. But it also wasn't like dog shit where I'm like, I'm never going to watch it again. Or I don't suggest that you watch it too. It was pretty good. I think if you're looking for like that higher range, that's definitely up in the higher range of quality of Christmas rom-coms. I actually did a Christmas corner last year about Operation Christmas Drop and actually a few of these movies. So if you're interested in that, I guess scroll back through Instagram because they're there.
Oh, let's do it.
And I give like in-depth opinions about everyone that I saw. And I remember even at that time being like, this was a lot better than I anticipated it being. This was one that I had to like sit down and force myself to watch. I was like, I need to watch this so I can write something about it. And then I ended up really enjoying it. So
interesting.
There you go.
Love when that happens.
The next three you also haven't seen. poo on you because these are pretty great. The Princess Switch trilogy. Princess Switch switched again, and Princess Switch 3 fucking fuck it up. I don't know what the tagline is for the last one. It would be funny if it was fuck it up, but
Isn't
I don't
it Romancing the Star?
Romancing the Star, yeah. Yep, you got it.
Princess Switch 3, fuck it up.
So the Princess Switch, the original one, it's just two characters who happen to look alike, not related at all. Happen to look alike. Yeah, they're not twins. Happen to look alike, switching places for some shits and giggles.
Okay.
The second one, we're introduced to a third character who looks just like them. She's one of their cousins, not sisters. So the last two, it's a triple switch. The first one is just the double switch. And they were all fantastic because Vanessa Hudgens is the Christmas movie queen. She's fantastic. She was, we're talking about another Vanessa Hudgens movie later on in the list. But yeah, she's just, I don't know why. She's like so perfect in them. And in the Princess Switch, she has to do at most three separate characters with super distinct accents and mannerisms. And then she has to play one of them playing the other one. So there's a lot of like, you have to be good at character work to like actually hit it solidly. And also, two of the characters have British accents, but one of them is like a queen. So she's super posh. Like and the other one's RP, like her cousin who's like a criminal or whatever the fuck. So she's kind of like not polished or posh. So you know what? Whatever. Vanessa Hudgens, she really did it in these movies. So
where would you rank these?
That's a good question.
Are they A?
I don't know. So the original one came out, I think, in 2018. Or it might be 2019, 2020, 2021. So I haven't seen the first two in a very long time.
I don't know. You spoke very highly about them, though. So.
I really like them. I think I'm going to do the original Princess Switch in A tier.
Okay.
Just don't fight me. One, because it's good. Two, because I think out of all of the Netflix Christmas movies, it is the most iconic. Like, people know the Princess Switch, I think, better than all of the other ones.
Okay.
Including Christmas Prince.
Right.
I think it has become the Netflix Christmas movie. So,
interesting. Okay.
Original Princess Switch in A tier. Princess Switch 2 in B tier. Princess Switch 3 in B tier. They were both pretty good. Princess Switch 3, the one that came out this year, obviously I'm most familiar with it because I watched it the most recently, but they're doing some like spy shit in there. Yeah, there's like a heist.
Oh wow.
It's pretty good.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna keep those in B tier. Those are pretty solid. If you haven't seen all three Princess Switch movies, you should watch them. They're very good. Okay, cool. Next, Single All the Way. Another new Netflix release this year. And yes, the only Christmas movie on this list that involves a same-sex couple.
Do better, Netflix.
You know what? It's frustrating because I can only think of two movies with gay main couples. And one of them was that Kristen Stewart movie,
Happiest Season
on Amazon.
No, that's on Hulu, I believe.
On Hulu? Yeah. Yes. That wasn't very great.
Yeah.
Wasn't very
Not a great start.
Not a great start. And then there's this one, which is definitely an improvement. But like the fact that I can only think of two, maybe that's also the fact that I'm not in that community, so I wouldn't know some of them. But it's pathetic. 2021, we have slim pickings on LGBT Christmas movies. All that being said, where do you think Single All the Way should land?
For me, the lowest I would go, it's probably A. I really like this movie a lot.
Shocking. Wow.
I wound up really loving this movie. I thought it was very cute. but also like I genuinely laughed in it. And the one issue I had, which was, it was so interesting without giving any spoilers away. But so it's your like classic, like someone likes someone, but that someone likes someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I found usually the like other person, there would be like some secret about them that makes them like actually an asshole or something.
Yeah, they're unlikable. But
in this, it was like the opposite. It was like, no, they were super nice, and why wouldn't you want to be with this person? So I don't know. I personally, even, I mean, there are some like moments that are just kind of like, like they didn't think too hard about it, because they're like, it's supposed to be like a light, fun Christmas rom-com, which, you know, eventually I just kind of bought into, because I don't know, I thought it was super sweet. I thought it was really cute. And Jennifer Coolidge is in it, and she basically plays herself, or her Jennifer Coolidge persona.
Yeah. She's like an actor, and
yeah. Where are you thinking this?
I was thinking like B or C.
Interesting. Okay, then I think B tier
is a good.
Yeah,
because I thought it was good. It was definitely better than some of the Christmas rom-coms I've seen in my lifetime.
Right.
But I still think certain parts were like, it's a little cheesy. We can do better than that.
Sure.
And not cheesy in like it's cheesy and I love it. Cheesy as in like the writing could have been a little better in certain parts.
I think I fell into the cheesy it's so cheesy I love it kind of trope.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just something about it, and that I just fell right for it. I find myself just cheering him on and just buying into it. So yeah. I think B's a good solid place for it.
Okay, B plus is what we're saying.
Yeah. I think solid. I think just a B.
B. Okay.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Night Before Christmas, which you said something about Night Before Christmas that shocked me, because I saw it the year it came out, which I think might have been 2019.
Yeah.
And then we watched it together last year.
Right.
Because I really like Night Before Christmas. And I assumed that you hated Night Before Christmas.
Nope. Turns out I also really like that movie.
You also really like Night Before Christmas. I don't know what it is about it, because like really structurally and like production wise, there's not anything like astounding about it. It's like on par with all of these other movies that we're talking about.
Right.
But I don't know, there's just like, I think because there's that extra magical element of like, I like fish out of water, like this person's from a different time and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. I love shit like that.
Right.
That's why I like Doctor Who so much.
Right.
So I think that part of it made it like a little bit more enjoyable for me than like a standard set in reality Christmas rom-com.
Yeah, well, a lot of the comedy in this is the same reason why, like, you know, I like the humor in Thor. It's because like Thor doesn't understand what the fuck is going on with like well, for him it's like human, like anything, or like customs, and so because he's from a completely different time period, it's kind of that same thing, and he doesn't know it. It's like a lovable oath kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It was just, I bought into that too. So yeah, it seemed like a movie that I wouldn't like, because I'm like, oh, how the fuck are they gonna get that? And like, blah 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 blah. But once I you suspend your disbelief, and you just go with it. Yeah, and also it turned out to be surprisingly sweet. Vanessa Hudgens is just one of those actors who she can just create chemistry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a little biased, but
I was obsessed with High School Musical, so I'm also a little biased.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
yeah,
also, I think everyone's a
biased.
little biased, and I think that's the magic of Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think she's a very charismatic person, and I think she can just create that spark. She's really good at that. So yeah, I wound up really liking this. Where are you thinking of putting this?
I'm thinking of putting this A tier.
I think A tier.
I
is
really
fair.
like it.
I really liked it too. You know what's interesting is, for a little bit there, and there's probably some more coming down the line, Netflix uses algorithms obviously for fucking everything, but like one of their algorithms basically said that, hey, people really like Anthony Mackie, so that's why he stars in a lot of Netflix movies. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing for the Christmas specials that they do, what's the common thread in a lot of these? It's Vanessa Hudgens. She's probably starring in more of these than any actor is in any
probably of like the Netflix series,
of this category.
And here's the fun funky part about Netflix Christmas movies. They're in a shared universe.
Oh my god.
Which doesn't make sense because there's a reference to Christmas Prince in Night Before Christmas.
Yep.
And in Princess Switch, either the first one or the second one, the couple from Christmas Prince is in Princess Switch.
Yeah.
So they're in a shared universe, which doesn't make any sense because now Vanessa Hudgens, unless, here's my theory, the Vanessa Hudgens from Night Before Christmas is one of the doppelgangers from Princess Switch. She's just one
there might
that
be
they
another
haven't met
cousin
yet.
out there somewhere.
Yeah. It's possible.
Also, in Night Before Christmas, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they when this fucking knight is learning what a TV is, they pop on Netflix and they start playing another
on Christmas specials. Yeah, from Netflix. Netflix Originals is on that TV. Yes, which is
cross
hilarious.
promote when you can.
I would like to see more exploration of the Netflix Christmas movie universe. If they need to hire Kevin Feige to oversee it, so be it. It's gotten a little messy, but we can theorize those inconsistencies away for now. The bigger it gets, the more structured we're going to have to become. So Netflix, you need to hire someone to oversee this Christmas universe so we don't get it all tangled.
Crazier things have happened.
I love that they're all connected.
But could you fucking imagine if they did some big special where all these characters are intertwined?
I can't imagine that.
I don't
they
think we
probably
need that.
will soon. Also, I believe the next logical step is to put Vanessa Hudgens in a Christmas rom-com musical on Netflix.
Yeah.
Vanessa Hudgens is a quadruple threat, and we need to keep exploring that.
Yeah. And there's quite a few other movies that came out this year too. But I mean, they pump these movies out so quickly, it's hard to catch them all. But yeah, I think what y'all should do is let us know in the comment section if you enjoyed this kind of format, and let us know if we should do it again next year, because I think we will.
Yeah, we're gonna probably do it anyway. But also, I'd like to know if there are any selections on this list that you do not agree with, or you do agree with, or additional ones that you saw maybe this year that we didn't, because there are a bunch of Netflix original Christmas movies that we just didn't get a chance to see or see yet. We still have a week until Christmas, so I'm really interested to learn all of your opinions on these Christmas
Same
flicks.
here.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. See you next time.